YouTube. My name is Frank Karachi and welcome to Frankly Cosplays. Today I will be showing you how to make Ronan the Accuser. You have been accused. As you can see from my oversized hammer. Of course, this was my first build, so I don't have a lot of pics, but I will give as much information as I can. And if you have any questions, just comment below. So here we are, the almost full completed costume. This is the back, of course. This, again, I remind you, this was my first cosplay, so there are a lot of mistakes. Okay, so I'm going to start off with, I had to individually cut all these little squares and then attach them to the vest that I made. That was kind of a pain because I didn't do them very evenly. I learned the hard way you need to use a very good cutting knife and don't be impatient like me. This is the other part I made. Of course, I individually cut these as well. This is, of course, made of Eva foam. I made this is the cape, almost complete and put together. This is the cape almost fully done. I had to attach it because the glue I used wasn't very good. Another piece of advice: use some good glue. Of course, I made the vest that goes around first, and that I used some kind of rubber, which doesn't fit very well, so don't use rubber because it does hurt. As you can see, I used tie straps to tie everything in. And here's the back part. I attached the belt with some Velcro so that way it could be tightened up from behind. And here is the front, as you can see. Basically, the design I got off the internet and kind of just hand drew it and then cut it on to a cutting board. As you can see, it still needs some proper glue. The glue I use not very good. I would probably use crazy glue because in the hot sun this does come apart. And there's the front part that needs to be attached, of course. I'm going to use tie straps again, one of my choices. Here we have Ronan's helmet. As you can see, I individually cut each square. Again, a pain in the neck as they weren't even and I didn't do a good job. It still needs to be glued properly. I didn't use crazy glue, which I should be using, or Gorilla Glue. I just kind of put it on this small military helmet. Again, I looked at his helmet online and I just kind of, free drew the pictures. Or sorry, I drew out the pictures first and then I just cut along Eva foam as best I could to scale. Of course, they might be a little off. The helmet was uncomfortable during Comicon, so I'll probably build something a little more comfortable than I did. But again, this was my first build. Don't mind the sound in the back. That is my 3D printer going full blast as it's building my next cosplay. Here's the skirt I made, just with a belt and again some of that that drawer lining, I guess you can get from a dollar store or local store. The shoulder pads I'm not too happy with, but I just kind of used knee pads and glued them together, but it did strap on well and it did have a nice effect. But again, I would have probably put more detail in it if I had more time and if I had more experience. Here are the arm gauntlets, again made out of that rubber and then more foam, and I just kind of tied them and they kind of go around your wrist. I wasn't happy with these, but they were kind of like a quick fix. And then again, I did paint the front design that he had on with just regular red paint, and then I clear coat on top just so it wouldn't wipe off. Again, this has to be re-glued. As you can see, the glue is coming apart during the heat. And it was a very hot costume to put on. And that's it. Again, if you have any questions, let me know.